Hey guys, I am back with a new video today. In today's video, we are checking out some more TRAHA Global, and today we're going to be talking more about the Scythe. So the Scythe is, like I said in my best class video, if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you guys check out my best class video. But I said Scythe is the most popular class in the game, and it has been till this day. You Q1v1s, you Q3v3s, you'll probably 80% of the time you'll see the Scythe, because Scythe is very strong. And I'll be telling you guys what build I use when I play Scythe for PvP and PvE. And if you guys want to check out my build, you guys can. Remember, it's very important, guys. Remember this. This is my build. This is not the best build. This is not the probably most optimized build. This is the build I use. If you guys want to use my build, you can use it. If you guys want to use your own build, somebody else's build, you can use it, or you can use some of my build and make some changes to make it better. But this will be my build video for Scythe. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. I make MMORPG content, so I appreciate if you guys give me a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you guys hit the sub button, and let's check out this guide. So we are here on my Scythe character, of course, and let's look at some rankings. So I did lose a bunch of rankings today because I was trying different builds for this video, but overall I am top 16 on my server in the 3v3, and I was top 30, but I just like tried different builds to see what builds are best for this video. But this is the solo rankings, and I've done some faction rankings, but I am completely free to play in this game, guys. I haven't spent any money in this game. But I really do enjoy the PvP in this game, and the faction PvP, world PvP, battlegrounds, and so on. So they are fun and exciting. And usually when I do PvE also, if you guys watch my streams, you guys would know that I am very high to one of the top highest DPS usually when I do play Scythe and do dungeons with players. So hopefully that's my resume for this guy. So hopefully this helps you guys out. So let's talk about the different arena modes first, because in arena I use different builds in arena, I use different builds in dungeon, but overall my character is pretty much a glass cannon. If you guys look at my traits, I put everything in damage. You guys see my traits here. I'll move my camera so you guys can see. You guys can see here, all of my traits are put into damage. I can't put anything else, and I have 5 points into HP right now. Same way it goes with profession, everything is into damage. Skill attack is where I focus everything, and that's where most of my damage comes from. So I am very high damage. I'm like a glass cannon. If you guys fight me or see me do dungeons, if I miss a damage skill from the boss, I will die, which makes it way more fun to play. I love playing games that, you know, keeps me on the edge of my seat, so I can't mess up anything. I have to dodge everything perfectly, but then in return I can do high damage. Now let's look at the companions I use. The pets I am using is this guy. He gives me variable attack, but if I could choose, I would go for like a pet that gives me probably scale attack is nice. I don't know if there's a PvP pet. If it would be PvP, it would be nice, but this is a legendary pet, so until then I'm going to be using this pet. Now the familiars I use is, I usually use this one, because the familiar gives me attack, penetration, crit accuracy, and dot effect. But for PvP, when I do like PvP or just chill, I use this. Even though the healing power doesn't help me much, the healing from this is nice, you know, and it reduces the damage I take. So that's pretty nice. So that is what I use as my companion pets. But let's look at my skill tree. So when it comes to arenas, let's talk about the 3v3 arena first. So the 3v3 arena spec that I like to use is, so I have the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper I have, the skill I use is this. Deals damage to target its nearby enemies, deals damage, soul siphon, and proc jam. So the build I'm going for is damage. A lot of people build their Reapers as a defense Reaper, so they last long, sustain long, have long battles, and it's very hard to take them down. While my Reaper is based on damage, so I like to do a lot of damage. So this is the best one for damage. This one's also nice to use, a heal of your max HP, but the reason I use the Reaper and not the Spectral Clone, the Spectral Clone is nice because you have two characters doing damage and they can absorb some damage, but the CC immunity that you get from being in the Reaper, immune to CC, is insane. Okay, if you didn't have a CC immunity, you will be getting knockbacks of stuns and roots everywhere. So the CC immunity you get from this is crazy. That's why I use this. And this is some nice damage that can deal both from range and close. So it procs way more often than the harvest skill for my build. Next up is the Shriek. The Shriek I use for this is the Blood Fog. Blood Fog is probably used by absolutely everybody. It gives me heals, it siphons soul. So it's very nice. It's a nice healing skill to have and very effective. Next up is this. Now this is interesting. Okay, for what I like to use is some damage, but I like to spin and then I use the torture. Okay, so you have windmill and then I have torture. The reason I have torture is if you're finding somebody that's not a reaper, they'll probably run away from you and get away from you as much as they can, right? Now having torture is very nice because you can close the distance with them because you jump on the character. So I spin and then they dodge away and then I jump on them again. It works very nice in PvP. Some people use demonic windmill because it restores HP, but I just like the damage from this. It's very nice. Now I've seen some people use demon beam in 1v1s, but for 3v3s I would go for the windmill spin. Next up, this one's kind of obvious. Ghost got hard nerfed and the side got hard nerfed too, but Ghost gives you a shield which lasts 2 seconds, which is very effective. You can use this probably several times during a fight, and it depends how many souls you have, which will consume the damage instead, which is very cool. So very good skill. You want to use this for absolutely everything you guys do. You want to have soul armor, maybe not for PvE. Next up I have is O soul. Now this is the bounce soul is very ineffective against people, against other reaper site users, because they have immune to CC. But any other class, usually when you play any other class, they run away from you, try to dodge you, then stay close to reaper. You stay close to reaper, you will usually get your ass whooped, right? So they kite a lot, so that is why this is very nice. The bounce soul I use to root enemy targets, and it works very well against everybody. They don't see it coming, they just suddenly get rooted, like what's going on, my character is not moving, you know, they get disoriented. So this is the spec I use for 3v3. The passive skills, I have Chakra, increase your max HP and recover soul period when taking damage. This is very good for PvP overall because you always take damage and you always need soul. So this is phenomenal. Okay, so make sure you guys are using this. These other ones are nice too, but not really effective. I like this one. If you're doing PvE, however, and you're a DPS, you probably want to go for something else, but we'll talk about PvE soon. Next up is I like to use Rise. Now I could see the Rise is the best skill to put here. There are better ones like bone armor. If you go for a defense side build, you want to go for the bone armor. And there's other like increased damage dealt, and this one more skill which is very good. Has a chance to siphon soul when cast a skill. This is very good to the moon. But right now I'm using Rise because as I guys said, I'm damage oriented. Next up is rebound. Of course you want rebound. It's the best skill you can get. Rebound lets the Grim Reaper duration for 60 seconds, so you can have Reaper throughout the whole PvP fight, and Reaper is insane because you're immune to CC. And then last least I use the Guardian Soul. When HP falls below 50%, you believe to take reduced damage. So damage reduction is phenomenal when you're below 50%. So those are the best passive skills. Now, if I was gonna do a 1v1s, guys, I would have the same passives, okay? But I might switch out this because there's so many sites in 1v1s right now. I might put this as my side spec, okay? And I put this because I can siphon way more souls, and the pull doesn't work on other sites, so it's kind of useless. So I put this for more damage if I play 1v1, so I'll have this spec. And then for this, now this is up to you guys. If you guys depends very much on how you're building your Reaper. If you're building a Reaper full damage like me, you want to go with the current spec I put right now. If you're building a defense Reaper, this is what you want to do. If you want to put a defense Reaper, you want to put this skill, okay? So you restore HP every time you hit this. You want to put this skill, so you restore HP every time you hit this. And then you want to have the shield. Yeah, this is the spec you want to have if you're going for the defense build. And the passive, you want to have this one instead. Increase defense instead of the damage one. So you'll have this spec as a defense build. You're going for the defense build, okay? But I am not defense build, so I'm going to switch back to my build because I like the damage. The laser is good too for the demon beam is good for 1v1s. But honestly, the spin is just too nice. People can't kite away from you. You can just follow them with the kite. It works great. Now for the battlegrounds, I will go for the same spec as 3v3, the spec I currently have right now, because it gives you shield when people try to gank you. You can pull people and root people from far. This damage AoE is insane. You can catch up to them if you're trying to run away. This does good AoE damage, and I'll put this build right here. It's perfect for battlegrounds too, and faction PvP. I use this spec for faction PvP too. It works great. Now for faction PvP, I would however switch out this and put the the blades, the long range blades, because faction PvP, if you go too close, you're gonna have struggles. You want to have some range skills, so I'll use this spec, and that way I'll leave the shield away faction PvP, because if you get ganked in faction PvP, you're most likely gonna get wiped. Now for PvE spec, okay, if I'm not talking about tank spec, I'm talking about DPS spec right now. If you're PvE and you want to do damage, this is the spec I want to go for. Okay, I would go for this spec. Wait, let me see here. Yeah, so this spec is very nice for damage. For this, I'll put this spec, because right now all you want to do is you want to do as much damage as possible. For this, honestly, I like to spin to do damage, because usually in a dungeon you have boss fights, you have mob spawns, and having the spin is very nice. You can do the laser too, because the laser does good damage, but this is what I would use for PvE spec. Okay, just go full damage. You could potentially switch out the siphon skill here too for this. Probably not. I think the shriek is just very good for PvE and PvE. Just have this shriek on. Now for your skills right here, you don't need, if you're doing PvE and you're DPS, you don't need increase your max HP. You probably want to go for maybe increase attack speed and movement speed, because mainly you're not going to be fighting, the boss is not going to be hitting you because you have a tank. And here I would just go full damage. Everything that gives damage increased. It's very good. Keep the Reaper though. The Reaper is nice. So you want to go for this spec right here. This is the spec I'll use for PvE. This will be my PvE spec. Okay, full damage. You have a main tank and everything. Now this is my spec. I'm not a tanky Reaper. So this is only a spec you want to be using if you're a very tanky Scythe. If you're a tanky Scythe, you want to not use this spec. You can use some of the spec, like I said, to be more of a tanky version, but this is a damage build, okay? So I'm going to use this for damage. So hopefully I explained most of everything. Now when it comes to like stats, the gear you're wearing, I'm probably mainly going to focus, like right now I'm going to be putting much effort into it, but I'm going to be focused on, let me show you guys. We go here, go to trinkets, we go to upgrade, we go to enchanting, go to trinkets. Now if you guys see here, right now I'm just going for combat power, but later on I will be going for stats that gives me a way more damage boost. So if you guys see here, attack ability, attack, skill attack is very good. PvP penetration, that's mainly at the end. I want to have a full PvP penetration, crit penetration type of gear to do as much damage as possible to other enemies, you know. But that is it for my Scythe build. It's a pretty new build. The game just been out for a week, so there's probably going to be a more in-depth Scythe guide later on when I play it some more, but hopefully for everybody that's switching to Scythe, I want to play Scythe, hopefully this video helps you guys out. So I really appreciate if you guys give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. What is your spec, and would you want to check out this spec? Now I really appreciate it for watching the video, and make sure you guys check out this video that pops up right here for more content. Bye bye.